What's up, people? Welcome to the sixth episode of my show called the Casual Convo Sessions. And today I have with me a very good friend of mine. We go way back long. His name is Tenzin. He is currently situated in Nepal. And, I'm very pleased to have him here on my show tonight. And well, just to let you know a fact, guys, that this is the second time we are doing this show because the first time we ever did it, unfortunately, my mistake. I lost the entire footage of our the conversations that we had. We almost had it for like 3 to 4 hours, and finally he agreed to do it again. And thank you so much for agreeing to do it again, Tenzing. And welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much for having me, bro.
Wonderful. So let's start with with your status right now. So what's going on? How's life going on for you?
Yeah, I mean, apart from this pandemic, so there's nothing happening. Just just try to keep my head cool, getting into like some physical activities. I love. I think since the first phase of lockdown, by the way, Nepal is like the longest. Especially Kathmandu, it's the longest lockdown ever, man, in Southeast Asia, I guess. So the government, they're not doing anything, so they're just postponing lockdown. So I think the cases are even rising, but I don't know, it's still up. Exactly. I mean, I think, in my opinion, it's $1 billion scandal. Yeah. Like all the biggest pharmaceutical companies are behind it. They wanted to create the the vaccination, and look at it's just a trade war, man. It's just
and also talking about the Nepal lockdown, I think this is the lockdown 2.0, if I'm not wrong. Is that so? Yeah, right? That's what they call it.
And fuck, I mean 2.0, 3.0.
3.0. Yeah, prequels, sequels. Yeah.
Exactly, man. But like this is just the media thing. They wanted to just scandalize it, glorify the lockdown, and but I mean, if when I go out of my house, I see a lot of fucking young guys who are unemployed right now, and then they're lining up for banana for some charity. There are some NGOs, some Tibetan friends. Of our Tibetan friends, they are they prepare food and then they're serving those needy peoples. But when you go there, I've even took part in that voluntary program. But when you go there and see those young people, you will feel so bad. The government is not doing anything for these people. It's their job, first of all, right? It looks like government doesn't give a shit about their own countrymen.
Yeah.
So at least most of the people who are stuck here, I think these are not from Kathmandu. Maybe they are from some other
countries.
Village, not countries, like villages,
okay.
Out of Kathmandu Valley. But now they're all stuck, and I think the number, especially in Nepal, the number of suicide cases is even going up. That's crazy. Not just the coronavirus, but I think a lot of people, they are dependent on the daily wage thing.
Absolutely,
they are laborers, right? So they get paid for the day. And now there's no work, nothing is happening. So this virus it's not just a disease, but it's more of a mental disease. That what I see in my society right now. So a lot of people are stressed out. So many hotel chains, they are shut down for a long time. So many domestic airports are not operating, and I heard from I read it in a paper that so many since Tamil is like one of our hotspot, it's the hub where people just go out and then lose themselves. But right now Tamil looks like a ghost town, man. There's nothing there, and then a lot of people who are into that kind of shop, who say who are into tracking business and all that. So that pandemic has hit. The first market is tourism, right? So Nepal is totally dependent on tourism. Tourism is hit badly, So if there's no tourism, there's no hotel chains are affected, right? So it's just like a chain effect. Hotels, and then a lot of people depend on hospitality business.
Yes.
so many people are jobless now. It even like me, like I used to work for a trekking company. Now
Mhm.
there's nothing going
There's
on.
nothing. Yeah.
I yes, I have like three clients this year. Coming to Nepal, and
Hmm.
I was like, everything is prepared. I prepared the itinerary and everything is sorted
Hmm.
out. But like nobody saw this coming, man. Like pandemic, we just thought it was just a any hoax or like
Yeah.
like. But I don't know, man. If I have to blame, I think I would blame this fucker. That
Hmm.
Tedros, the WHO Director General.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucker was quiet for a long time, man. Like
Hmm.
he should be very vocal about it, Nida. Like he should be the one saying that okay, this is pandemic and it's spreading like wildfire. We gotta
Hmm.
stop a travel ban on China.
Hmm.
But the way I mean, in a press conference, by the way he declared it's pandemic, it's already late, man. Like Chinese New Year was finished, everyone was traveling back, and then so this is like a
Yeah.
shit show, man.
I think the main corona, the virus had already started way before it actually came to the world, right? It was I think since the last year of December or November. At that point of time, it had actually started, but the world got to know it much more late upon a time. Because China was, I
So
believe they were trying to hide it or something. I'm not sure. Yeah.
So, according to the Chinese banana, like inner sources, Baru,
Mm.
this virus was already spreading in Wuhan wet market. I
Yeah,
think
Wuhan.
last year, I think around September,
Mm, mm.
right? And
Yeah.
then, like WHO, like declared its pandemic, like 2020, I think around January, February, March, ma.
Yeah,
It's already
March.
late,
March. It started getting
March.
the news started coming in and all that. Yeah.
Mm. So
Oof.
yeah, I mean, it's like now. See, it's too much to the worst part is like the economy, recession, right? So it will take for Nepal government ko lagi the imagine it will take more than 2-3 years to recover this loss, man. you
Absolutely.
know so people are like, I think these days what I see is like all stressed out, man. A lot of people are stressed out. First
Mm.
of all, they're in the state of panic and fear, like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that like it's the invisible virus,
Yeah.
right? We don't even if you have this disease, but it's still like asymptomatic. That's what they say.
Mm.
And then people have this fear in their head, like whenever, even if they go out, like there's this huge gap of like like say now it leads to distrust, mistrust,
Mm.
what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
yeah, people feel scared to talk to you, man.
Absolutely.
It is sama bhaisakeko छ,
Touch a little bit about your trekking stuff, and the reason I want to talk about your guiding, the role you play as a guide in the mountains and all is because I want to talk a little bit about the mountains as well, how that has
Right.
affected your life and how that has changed your life. From Bangalore you moved to Kathmandu, and Pokhara, Nepal, and you're doing your own thing. So can
Right.
you just talk, briefly about that and your experience on that?
Sure, man. Yeah, so I moved here in Kathmandu in the year 2000 after the earthquake. So it's in the year 2016, I think. Yeah.
Mm.
So 2016. Yeah, I think February, March, or some very close to Tibetan New Year.
Hmm.
And yeah, so ever since I got like like as soon as I came down to Kathmandu, I just started working. So for 2 years I was working as a salesman. So I worked. I mean, there's this. We were dealing with some like some arts and artifacts kind of thing. So I was a salesman,
Hmm.
and then we sent this stuff to China, Malaysia,
Mm.
Singapore, like that. So
More of
like
export and all that, yeah.
yeah, more of yeah export import kind of stuff.
Hmm.
But it's all like the beauty of Nepal actually, Nirvan is saying. So what we have is like in Nepal, like there's so many. people whose livelihood depends on artifacts, and like they create some
Yes.
incredible stuffs like statues, and Buddhist materials like
Hmm.
butter lamp or water bowl, or whatever. The Nepal ko, the best thing is the art is still there, like the light is still burning. The
Yes.
only thing is now that the relationship between Tibetan people and the Nepali people, you're talking about long time back, say during the time of King Amshu Varma, when his daughter got married to the king, Tibetan king Songtsen Gampo, right? Birkuti. So when she was invited to Tibet, she brought this statue, like statue of Buddha. We call it
Okay.
Cho in Tibetan. So this statue is still in the palace, in Potala Palace. Okay? So
Okay.
during that time, the Tibetan king, he fell in love with the Nepalese handicrafts and like artwork unsani. So whatever, Chinese can produce the same item in, like, say, like in massive scale, but they don't have Nepali ko, jun they
The
call
the
it,
quality,
it's a
right? Yeah.
the artwork itself, unsani, it's very intricate, very unsani, detailed, you know and then it's all handmade again, not machine or nothing. It's all made by hand. So that's the beauty of Nepali art. Yeah. So there are Nepali artists. Some artists, they write thankas, like a painting. So if you talk about the relationship between Nepali and Tibetan people, they are like, not just from the term, in terms of business. We're talking about, like, say, there's a nice Tibetan saying, wherever you go, there's a beautiful line. I forgot this line. Okay, just let me think about it. Mm, okay, wherever you go, if you find a love, that's your country. And wherever you go, if you wherever you okay, I'm gonna
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
talk
Sure.
about, yeah, remember this and to let you know. Yeah, yeah. It says, wherever you have friends, that's your country, and wherever you receive love, that's your home.
Which makes a
Right.
lot of sense. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, a lot of Paila the history ma. So we're talking about like a little bit of history is even very important and relevant in today's world. Okay? Because this, like, I think it's been about past couple of years or Paila, and just 2-3 years agadi kura hola. There was this some bullshit things which is flooding in, like, news. Yeah, but like His Holiness said, Buddha was not Nepali, and then Buddha was not born in Lumbini, and all that. The shit is banana usma. Like, people, they don't realize unsani, the importance of unsani. We're talking about some 7th century unsani dikhi kura gareko yaar, it for that much of period unsani, the relationship is strong, and like unsani, it's aile sama unsani, there's this foundation there. Okay? But just because one two misunderstanding le unsani, they were trying to create this divisions between you Tibetan, I'm Nepali, and all that fucking, and then nowadays, all whenever you see any fucking news media and outlets, all you see is like fucking hatred spreading around, man. There's no fucking good things nowadays unsani. Like, if you want to just like, listen to a good news, like, of course, naraम्रो पनि भइरहेछ, तर people, they don't promote the good things which are happening in society. Yeah? All they want to do is just make you feel part of their fucking opinion. That's what bigger corporate media, they do that, right? They bring some fucking crazy ass topic, and then they make you feel part of their opinion, and then they'll make you judge. Yeah, bro.
They
And then
emotionally involve in it. Yeah.
exactly, man. So what I see is like a very unhealthy relationship between the media, and then like everyone who has a device in their hand. People wake up, you know, having this device on the hand. People sleep with this device, right? So there's already like, what we gotta understand, I think, is like, sometimes we gotta unlearn, we gotta unfeed. Unsani, mind mo, unsan, all this negativity, if you feed it too much, man, it fucks up your brain, man. It fucks up your
Absolutely.
brain.
Yes.
So, I mean, if you talk about, say, like, say 30 years back, like, there was some crazy shit happening, but not in that scale. I zoom by resani.
Mm.
But they be like, like people are still peaceful about it. They just, they communicate and they talk. There's this human touch there. But
Mm.
now all you see is like fucking, just some very mechanical gap. Like all you see is like from the post, from the Facebook, feeds
Yes.
and news feed and all that shit. So I find it's a very high time that we should even know how to use device. Yeah, that's very important as a bully unsani. And
Absolutely.
then
Absolutely.
what kind of source that you are looking into unsani.
Hmm.
It's very important unsani. And then try to be neutral. That's what I would like to say. Be
Hmm.
neutral when you come across fucking one news, strange news or some shitty news. Do not be too judgmental on that one source, man. You gotta listen from the other side of the story too, right?
Yeah.
So that's very important. Yeah.
You were into gymming some a while ago. I'm sure you still are, but you were a very, you were religiously following it when you were in Bangalore and all that. I used to see your updates and all
Exactly.
that. And when you went to Nepal, you got into trekking, guiding, which Rigel also spoke very highly of, because you were the one who took him around to Annapurna base camp and all that. So,
Right.
talking about hobbies and interests and all that, how do you cope up with life with all that? Like, what are the hobbies that make you challenge yourself and make you stand up as a man, or take a step in this world? Like, how do you do all of that? How do you cooperate with your own inner feelings?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a very good question. By the
Mm.
way, actually, this is like the follow-up answers for the previous question. Like, how did you come into tracking? So we got a little deviated on that topic, and Agi.
Yeah.
So we're talking about some other thing. Anyways, this still a part of this same question, Raisa. So
Ah.
yeah, so after I left the first job,
Mm.
and it was during the time of Dasai. So a
Mm.
lot of people during the science, since it's one of the best weather around year ma,
Mm.
September October type ma. So all I heard from my friends and like banana some circles,
Mm.
like let's go to the mountains, let's just visit Nepal ko hamro, this Annapurna circuits, that ABC
Mm.
Annapurna base camp track since it's very like most of the trekking route or something, it starts from Pokhara. So I happened to be around Pokhara at that time. So I met this guy, a
Mm.
Canadian firefighter in Lakeside, and I was at one shop, and he was talking to one of एउटा दिदीसँग कुरा गर्दै थियो. She was, I mean, he was talking to that lady. She's a Tibetan souvenir business गर्थ्यो.
Mm.
And then she was like, I mean, he was asking like, do you know any independent trekking guide, or like a freelance trekking guide who can?
Mm.
I don't want to go through agency because it'll cost me a lot because I'm in a tight budget.
Mm.
So I overheard the conversation, and then I just walked up to him and said like, I'll be very honest with you. I've never been to a mountain,
Mm.
but for me, like it's just an experience.
Mm.
So since I speak the language there, I'll walk you. And he was
Wow.
surprised, like, are you sure? And
Mm.
I said, I'm game, man. I'm free. Like right now, I quit my job, so I'm not doing anything. I can like we can do this tracking together. And he says like, how much do I have to pay? I told him like like just pay me like a stipend or something. I don't need money. Like I'm not doing this for like that that त्यही पैसाको लागि नै, I'm not
Mm.
doing it
Yeah.
for that. I'm just doing it for the sake of experience. I just wanted to see the mountains. So this guy, his name is Will Kuchler. He's a Canadian firefighter. He lives in Vancouver. And then he says, okay, Tenzin, man, sounds good. And moreover, this guy is well versed with Tibetan Buddhism, right? Okay. So the reason why he wanted to go there is to that Annapurna circuit side. He wanted to visit old monasteries, some very
Oh,
old
okay.
stupas and all.
Uh,
So that's his goal. Okay? That's his main goal. And I was like, okay, Will, man, let's do this. So that day, after 2 days, we started hiking. We started hiking, and then it was about like 13 days of hike, and we did the whole circuit, and we did Torongla Pass, and then we
mm.
did Tilichu Lake at the same time. There's this beautiful lake there, which is called
Okay.
Tilichu Lake.
Uh-huh.
So the funny incident I'm going to talk to you about Tilichu Lake, Daima. So what happened was like in Nepal, there's this some Nepali movie which is like it was just a big hit in Banana National Amroyo Nepal ko cinema box office ma. So people saw that in one of the music video they saw this beautiful lake in Manang, and that movie actually gave exposure to a lot of young Nepali banana younger audience okay, like younger
Okay. Okay.
generation are like.
Uh-huh.
But the problem with the younger generation is like all they want to do is just like fucking get a fucking hire a van, and then they just fucking go till Manang, and
Uh,
then from Manang they like there's no vehicles, you cannot pass by
mm,
that route, so they have to walk, right? And then all I see is like young guys. They're not up for the adventure, man. They're just up for a fucking selfies race again. They're fucking hiking in a trekking jeans, man. Trekking, sorry, jeans, ma. They're
mm,
trekking there, and then they're all in a fucking formal shirt and formal shoes. And some of these fuckers cannot even walk at this elevation because they didn't acclimatize there. And then that's so careless thing to do. Yeah? Anybody can get unsani.
mm,
It can be a fatal accident, man. Like those people who just without any knowledge unsani,
mm.
if they don't know about hypoxia and then all this banana altitude sickness, if they don't acclimatize their body properly unsani, after 3,500 meters
Yeah.
your body anybody will get this altitude sickness. Okay, so I've
Correct.
on a number of occasions unsani,
Mm.
route ma, I've seen young guys that couldn't walk up because they got like attitude sickness, and then they were all stuck, and then they would leave again returning back to the camp.
Mm.
So as a data as a as a traveler or as a banana tea trekking ko field my first time mai jandakiri pani my friend Will, he's like well versed with how we should
Mm.
acclimatize, and he was the first teacher actually, Bonnie, he was the mentor who told me, okay, let's do this. I was just I wasn't even a guide. I was just a
Just
friend
there to help
for
him around with the language, eh? Mainly, check.
exactly. So, but like, since these guys who come to Nepal, they are pretty unsane, prepared. They're
Very
well,
much, yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, हामी यहाँको मान्छेहरू के छ भने very ignorant छ क्या. They don't pay attention to these small things, and then there's so many incidents pani cha Nepal, young केटाहरू हुन्छ नि, they just go there for like without understanding the banana to elevation ko wise how your body has to cope up with that shit,
Mm.
and then people die, man. There's so many. Last year ma pani they were like almost, I think, 4 5 kids are the young class 10 12 kids they died there, man. So it can
Mm.
happen to anybody, eh? So म के भन्छु भने as a enthusiast or as anybody who wants to travel visit Nepal, like make sure you do your homework, man. Like there's fucking so many platforms nowadays. You can research about
Yes.
that region ko ke cha, what is the elevation like, khana kasto cha, your because your body has to
Mm.
adapt in that thin oxygen up there. So you gotta play with that atmosphere, man. You cannot just be random, like
Mm.
it's just for the selfies or like just for the sake of your Instagram post. You cannot just visit like that, man. And moreover, trekking gear is very important, guys. So I'll just show you a
Absolutely.
few of the trekking
Sure. Now, when you're talking about that, Tenzin, why don't you even tell whoever watches this a little bit about what you have to do in order to prepare yourself to go to the mountains, in terms of your gear, your shoes, your clothes, everything.
Mhm, mhm. So yeah, number one, the most important thing is you need to have a good shoes, like
Okay.
a proper trekking shoes, right? Like you can just say like you can splurge on your good shoes for like 10,000, 15,000. Just make sure you just buy good shoes because
Mhm.
all those trails are very rough and very rocky, very
Mhm.
deserted. So your most important thing is when you are doing a like intense hike,
Mhm.
your body, the most important thing is your leg. your kuta oni, because you gotta
Absolutely.
walk,
Yeah.
right? So you gotta take care of your ankle, your you gotta make sure you have the good shoes so that your feet doesn't get hurt, right? Doesn't get twisted or anything. And then secondly, yeah, like have a good woolen socks, some extra pairs of woolen socks. And then like say number three, I would say get a fleece, yeah, good fleece, like so that it's the more higher you go up there, the sun exposures, and it's very the sun hits you right on your skin, man. It sunburn naramro huncha. So you gotta wear a good fleece, and then make sure it's the dry fit one, like not like the cotton one, but you can still have the cotton, carry the cotton one for once you reach one spot, you can dry that fleece, and and then you change it, put a cotton one during the afternoon lunch break, and then you put it on back again, and then start walking, right? And extra one chapel, or like slippers or sandals, it's very important. And moreover, you should have a good trekking poles, okay?
Okay. These kind of.
Yes, yeah.
These are for
Trekking
your support.
poles.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, this is not just for your support. Actually, एक के गर्छ भने, since Nepalको elevation, Nepalको trailहरू सबै, it's never like a plain road, right? You have to fucking, there's like crisscross. You have to climb up, go down. Sometimes you have to cross rivers. So if you have a good trekking pole, it's like it's like it'll take care of your balance गर्नुको लागि पनि के. When you put that trekking pole मजाले एउटा ठाउँमा, so you can like you can your weight can be balanced के अब, right? And not
Okay.
just that, especially if you're carrying like a weight on I'm saying you have a backpack, and then हामी के गर्छ भने, sometimes when we walk for like say 6 7 8 hours in a day, your bagले गर्दाखेरि पनि you people are very prone to having this back pain के after the eight
Absolutely.
hours of walking in a day. So if you have a trekking pole, it actually balances your spinal cord, yeah, right? It just,
Okay.
and then it has to be, people has to be sure that it's like L shape ma hunu parcha ke. So when you're standing up, it should be like, like L shape ma, and then
Ah.
just close to your hip, not above that or below that, okay? The hip
Okay.
ko size ma chahi L shape ma, you can carry it, okay? Right? And then second important thing is like you gotta have like a rope. It's
Okay.
very important, yeah. 5 meters ko rope, always carry it. It's not a burden to carry like a 5 meters ko rope. There are so many incidents where people, when they there are so many incidents where trekking guides don't even know that they're like, because of some heavy rainfall, the trail ma, yesterday there was a trail, but today because of the landslide,
It's not
there's no
there.
trail
The landscape keeps changing.
now. It just, yeah, it like, so what you gotta do is you gotta play, right? You gotta play. Once you walked like Unsani, three hours in that trail, and you cannot go back, right? Because you're missing the whole day. So what you got to do is you got to find another route or another trail, and then if you have like a rope, it helps you, keep your belongings together, or like rookma jundaira pani hoस् कि,
Ah.
so this is like a lifesaver, man. I'm telling you, man. During 2015 earthquake हुँदाखेरि, so there was this one of our trekking mentor. He told us some stories about just one rope, this rope, 5 meters ko rope le, life, tinjana life, but he saved like three
Saved.
lives, man.
Okay.
Exactly. This is very important, yeah, but people don't pay attention to this shit, man. And make sure you have like a good water bottle, so that you don't keep buying plastics water bottle uta feri huncha ni. Why do you keep, after you drink the water bottle, you keep throwing it, right? So just have one water bottle, and then there's always a filter station, okay? Like you can, drinking water filter, so you can pay like 10 rupees, 15 rupees, and you can fill it. And like another important thing is you gotta have a torchlight, right?
Yeah.
Torchlight is very important because during night sometimes the visibility, there's no proper electricity up there. So sometimes when you have to go to bathroom, you gotta have your like torchlight with you. And then you gotta have a like nice backpack, a good backpack, you know, say like 23 liters koki, or like say 25 liters. Just that it that will work. Yeah. You don't have to carry
Mm,
big bags, you know.
absolutely.
And then Tati Sakto, I think the most important thing is you gotta travel light. You shouldn't carry like you can wear the fucking you can just have like two t-shirts and then
Mm,
keep changing it, right? You don't have
mm,
to carry like jeans all that fucking nothing
fancy stuff.
like yeah, we don't need that shit because
Mm,
we are going in a wild, man. You're going for adventure, man. Nobody will fucking pay attention, cares about what you wear or not, man. All you gotta
mm,
have is a good fucking trekking gear, a light, dry fit kind of material clothes. So
mm.
that will do, man. And you,
I,
what I've noticed is,
mm,
oh, this is very important too. Wherever, whichever route you're traveling with you,
mm.
you gotta have like a map as well. Okay, you know, map is
Okay.
very important. Okay, Unsani.
So, anyways, yeah, we were talking about maps, you know. So, along with maps, I just wanted to ask you, how do you, read such kind of maps, the paper maps, and also, what are the kind of food, you have to look after or eat when you're traveling? Like, what is the त्यसमा चाहिँ अलिकति केही भनिदिनु न.
Very intense हाइकहरू हुन्छ कोही कोही ठाउँहरूमा नस्लु ट्र्याकहरू हुन्छ नि. So
Mm,
yeah, for that it's very important हुन्छ नि to carry this because so when you get stuck in like when you get lost in a trail or because of the weather, poor weather condition or something, at least if you have the map and then compass with you, you can communicate हुन्छ नि using this क्या like तिमी कुन trail को कुन ठाउँमा तिमी अर्केको छ so you can read the map using a compass. Okay? So it this for that you need to do the homework. You got to
mm,
learn the tricks of kasari map reading, kasari garnu parcha with the compass हुन्छ नि. So
mm.
it's actually for rescue operations and you like somebody calls you. I mean say like say like a rescue team from Kathmandu International Airport, they'll like call you, right? The armies. And for them, you need to give them like directions and
The latitude, longitude.
so latitude, longitude. This is very important. Okay? If I were going for an intense hike, I would definitely carry it, no matter what. And then I'll do my homework when like map reading, compass, porno. As a bully, it's very important. A lot of people are
Absolutely.
being very ignorant about it, but it's very important. You should learn this. Okay? So yeah, I think it's in the YouTube as well. How to read map or
Mm,
north camera. So map ko agadi sabai, it has everything. So like the only thing is just a reminder. Okay, if you carry this, like just it won't be any harm to you in your bag. So and then you can even like just rest गर्दाखेरि you can just do time pass पनि गर्नु पाउँछ नि
mm.
म्यापसँग you can do the research by yourself. Yeah.
Yes, yes, true, true.
अनि
Yeah.
any torch light like a torch
Mm-hmm.
must, it's very important. Yeah, torch light.
Yeah. So you really have to go the old school way, eh? Traveling much, अब यस्तो माउन्टेनियरिङहरूमा चाहिँ क्या हो.
Exactly. I mean, see, these are like essentials. Yeah? Like these are really
Yes.
really essentials. Like, and even I would say one more point I have to add is like yeah, coming to the food part, I won't say, but more important than that, you have to carry one like a water resistant jacket
Mm,
or like
mm,
waterproof jacket, whatever you call it. A must. It's must. And then for your bag as well, and you need like a cover to say you cannot you will never know, like it can rain anytime. If the weather pattern changes,
yeah.
it can rain anytime, it can snow anytime. So it and then the most important thing is you should always listen to what the local people they has to say. Yeah?
Mm,
Because they are the like banana the main source of information उनीहरूबाट हुन्छ के. So they living in that elevation for a long time, they will even though they don't have technologies this हुन्छ नि त्यति
mm.
हुन्छ नि weather forecaster, but they would read the natural way क्या अब like weather हेर्दै हुन्छ नि, they will give you a gist हुन्छ नि,
And they have more
okay
knowledge
tomorrow,
as well. Yeah.
more knowledge as well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So this, I mean, technology is a neutral thing. People can use it in a
Yeah.
good way or bad way. But having technology, but even technology, if you don't use it in a proper sense, then like
You're going in the wrong direction. Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
So
cheers for you, but
yeah. Cheers, hey,
okay,
cheers.
sorry, yeah,
मेरो
cheers, man,
क्यामेरा चाहिँ
cheers.
यतापट्टि छ होइन, so yeah, cheers.
It's okay, cheers, man, cheers, man.
But yeah, anyways, now
And
going. Yeah, tell me,
and
tell me.
about the food.
Yeah.
So I mean, Nepal, the staple food is dal bhat, right? Dal bhat. So every tea shop you go, I
Heart's
mean,
always in dal bath.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
dal bhat power works, man. Like dal bhat. Like if you have a proper dal bhat, after intense hiking, that lunch ko time, your body will even like unsani majjale digest gar sake. It will just you'll feel good, man. And then so like extreme elevation mathi jandaicha bhane, I would suggest like a barley champa. So these are very unsani, very nutritious and very like heavy, like have champa in the, and then a lot of tourists, they love eating champa porridge in the morning. They don't prefer like some people, they eat bread, but if you hike, say if you had a bread and egg in the morning and then you hike, after 2 hours you'll feel hungry, man. But if you eat champa, you can it will last for another 5 hours, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the power it has,
Sustains
the
you,
champa porridge.
sustains the body. Yeah.
Sustains the body, exactly. And another important thing is like um the most important thing, yeah,
Hmm.
you need to have a good attitude coming to those kind of places. Yeah, come with a good attitude. And I always tell this to my client as well. And they ask me like so many, and they get curious and they ask me so many questions. Come with a proper attitude or come with a positive energy. Yeah? If you come with your positive energy and your tour, no matter 13 days or 14 days, the whole trip would be a memorable one. Yeah? But if you come with a bad energy and first your tour might be like say agency handle garcha hola, tara that will not be really a touching one. Yeah? That will not suffice your soul, I would say.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
adventure, these are nothing but just to it's more of a meditative practice. Yeah? Like when you're hiking in the mountains, you know as the more higher you start walking up, right, hiking up, ascending, then you start feeling like a tiny human being. Because they're big, giant, enormous mountains just right in
Yeah.
front of you, and you feel it's very humbling experience. Okay? If you bring all your to city life ko problem or boker aaye bhane, that doesn't the tempo nahi milena. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So the most important thing is positive attitude ma travel गर्नुपर्छ कि जहाँ गए पनि हुन्छ नि, it doesn't matter just 1 day or 2 day, but always go with a right attitude and a positive energy. Okay? So that's it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the main goal, right? Like, doesn't matter what you're going through at that point of time. What matters is like you're traveling, you're going to the mountains, man. And like
Right.
for people who are watching this, if you're planning to go to the mountains just to click pictures and like uh, take put a post on Instagram, saying that you've conquered the world or the mountains, then I guess you are very wrong. It's not the time yet to for you to go to the mountains. If you're going to the mountains, put your ego aside, put your worries aside, go there, try to find yourself. I know, just so, like what Tenzin said, suit ma आउँछ, jeans ma आउँछ. Man, the mountains has got like nothing to do with what kind of fucking jeans you wear or what kind of clothes you wear or what's the price of your shoes.
Exactly.
I also want to get into a bit of your personal life as well, because I'm sure a lot of people who watch my show also wants to know what kind of person are you and all that. So you were in Bangalore and you went to Kathmandu. You've been here with us, with my brother especially. You've been friends with him. So how has life changed you? What have you been through? We know your story. I know there's nothing you have to tell about it, but how has all of your experiences के अब तिमीलाई कसरी change गर्दैछ के अब, like whatever you've been through in life until now? Like just a little bit of it.
The thing is, it's simple, man. I'm just a human guy. I mean, I'm just a human, just a guy with the feelings, just like you, man. Just another human being, you know. So,
100%. Yeah.
like, yeah, like, I mean, the most important part of being a human is having this sunsari. Like, hamisanga, the only thing what we have is our intelligence and wisdom that you can carry further
Yeah.
to your next life if you believe in rebirth or the next dimension or whatever. And the most important thing is when we are alive, right? When I'm breathing next to you,
Yeah.
we always got to be that person, like, say, like, everybody doesn't, they don't like to suffer. They don't want all this banana, that disturbances or
Mm.
harm, anything. Everybody just, even small insects or any living beings, they just long for like a peace of mind. Yeah, everybody seeks that peace of mind. Yeah, happiness or whatever you call it. So as you move on in life and you come across different stage अब your society को model नहीं, it's the way it's structured is so, like it's not suitable for every human beings हुन्छ नि. Like how हाम्रो यो society को modality चाहिँ हुन्छ नि, you have to get married, you have to study, you have to go get to college, and after college you work, after you work you pay for your buy a house, and then
Mm.
buying a house you get married, after you get married we get fucking stuck in this loop. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
we are basically, we are much more than that. Yeah, as a human, if you don't have that complications banana you
Mm.
जुन हामीले यो आफ्नै web, we are nothing just but a spider who created a nice fucking web, and we get stuck in that. The same spider is
Mm.
stuck in his own web. Yeah, what I'm saying.
That's a very great way of
What
putting
I
it
want to
across,
say is
man.
like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So life ma, I believe, and it's
Mm.
not really, the more the more you try to understand the meaning of what is life, that's not the question. Yeah, the thing is experiencing it. Yeah, good times,
Yes.
bad times, just go through it, experience it, man. Life is more about experiencing than trying to find its meaning, Unsani. A lot of people nowadays do, Unsani,
Mm.
that's subculture thing, Unsani. What is meaning of life, I mean, everybody has a fucking Unsani purpose nahi bhayera चाहिँ जन्मे
Mm.
होला उनी, without any purpose you won't fucking get into this form of human life, Unsani. Ani, the more you keep your philosophy simple and you keep your mind head ma, you keep it light, you will start seeing everything in a very positive way. Like, everything's like friendly,
Yeah.
connect, if we all connected together, we're all part of this same nature, we all breathing the same air. The simplicity, the subtleness of that हुन्छ नि, art like बुझ्यो भने, that philosophy, if you understand that thing, and I don't think there's any differences here. There's no differences at
Yeah.
all, man. You can be a guy from who's born in like in the US or America or Canada or
Mm.
some European country, but that's the thing which taught me when I was, when you go to the mountains here. So
Mm.
everybody meet at the, like, like a breakfast table together. Everybody meet at lunch break together. So if you start listening, talking to those travelers, and they're just a guy, who looks kind of like, tall, fair skiing, but all they have the same emotion. Yeah, they all have the same emotion. They just want happiness, Sunny. They just
Absolutely.
they yeah. Everybody just wants to be happy. Yeah. कुरा नै त्यही हो, simple हो, अब how you view it, how you perceive हुन्छ
Mm.
नि, त्यो happiness कसरी, how would you define that happiness? Now it's your job, man. If you think, I mean, see, some people are very successful in, like, living life in a very fast paced city life ma. They're successful, they financially very हुन्छ नि, independent. They're, for them, he's a happy guy, उसको लागि त्यही meaning होला, he's happy. अनि गाउँमा
So,
बस्ने
mm.
एउटा farmerलाई, a simple farmer man, a
Mm.
farmer guy, he's just, he doesn't have very materialistic. He doesn't have, he doesn't own much, but he's like very happy and content with his life. Yeah, you know,
All he has is
he
his
doesn't
land. Yeah.
all he has is his two cattle,
Mm.
a small plot of land, his family. As long as the weather is good to them, that's all. Like favor weatherly favor gareman, they're happy. They don't complain about
Yeah.
it. So what I've noticed is a lot of people who have complaints are mostly from people living in this concrete jungle from the towns. So when they come down, so I'll tell you one of the experience, man. I met this
Mm.
girl. She's like she used to work for Bloomberg company in
Okay.
US. She's a marketing manager in
Mm.
Bloomberg company, and
Mm.
she 25 years she was in that that Manhattan kind of lifestyle, and very fast
Mm.
paced,
Busy.
like
Mm.
work busy, all like frustrated. And
Mm.
then I happened to be her guide. She come down to Nepal for the first time, and then after the trek, after that they say about 10 not 10, 8 days of trek, while coming returning back, she was crying. She was crying in the van. Okay? Like she was crying in the van. And then like the driver thought, like, what happened, man? Like all of a sudden she's crying. So the driver stopped the car and then asked, like, what happened? So I just kept quiet, and like I didn't want it to just
Mm. Get in there.
intervene. Yeah, but she smiled. Yeah, after, like, when somebody asked her what happened, and then she smiled and she was still crying. She said, I don't know, there's something about the people living here in Nepal, in those villages. They don't have nothing. They just live in a small tiny box. They just own a small plot of land, but they don't expect anything from you, but they all they have is like a bright smile, and they're very welcoming, and they don't judge you, and that's the beauty again. We humans, like, if you ask a small kid, if you're whether, like, would you like your dad a more friendlier, or more having the smile, or more composed kind of energy, or would you like your dad to be very strict and that that very frustrated kind of attitude? The kid would obviously choose the guy who smiles, right?
Yeah.
Same shit,
Obviously.
man. Like
Yeah.
even an adult leaving,
Mm.
having this material banana usanga
Success. Mm.
success and everything, but somewhere she understood that she's lacking part of that human touch. Yeah, she understood she's missing that human touch.
Yeah.
That small things like, hi, hello, namaste, welcome. So
Mm.
all when you go to fucking those Himalayas, it's not just the mountain. People love coming back, man. It's the people. Yeah,
Mm.
humans are the canvas there. Yeah, like,
Mm.
they define the mountains. They will give you better picture of how Himalayan energy is, like kasari harmoniously basiresa. They will give you the better understanding of the Himalayan kingdom. Yeah,
Mm.
it's simple as that. You know. So it's
Absolutely.
very important nowadays. What
Mm.
मेरो विचारमा चाहिँ, we are becoming so mechanic, हुन्छ नि, very हुन्छ नि, everything is being हुन्छ नि, हाम्रो सोच्नु पनि कम छ क्या आजभोलि. We don't think properly. We don't communicate properly, हुन्छ नि. We
Mm.
don't all we think is just my, I, myself, you. you know the more, what the psychologists they say is, the more you think about that sense of that self cherishing attitude, like me, myself, those people are
Mm.
more prone to heart attacks and all that suicidal shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if you as a human, if you can include your community, your family, your neighbors, if you start including everybody as the same human just like you, who wants to have this peace of mind, everybody wants this, just live happily. If you think in that way, na,
Mm.
you will never even, first of all, discriminate the kura chhod dena. You will not even harm that person. Yeah, you will never harm the neighbor. You will never harm your community. What we lack is, as a bully, we talk about fucking modern education. You do like MBA, or you
Mm.
become a doctor, you become like pilot, you become engineer, software engineer, whatever that shit. The fast-paced rat race ma it the dimag ma, they're fucking feeding you all that shit, but what we lack is that that spiritual knowledge of how as a human you should live kya ba. The modern education is not very educated kya. They don't talk
Mm-hmm.
about how to how to balance your emotion. They don't talk about that, man. They just
Yeah.
teach you to be a good be a good student who can memorize things, man. They don't teach your heart, man. They just teach your brain, Unsani. Okay, you're the first guy. You will be the top top 10 guy, or
Mm.
you're the achiever, you're the go getter. All they teach you is just related to your brain, Unsani. Just that part, small
Yeah.
part. But we as a human, even though look at nowadays as a bully, when we look at
Mm.
news, the sad reality is like those people who are doctors, engineers, those who have like a high profile, like these are the people who fucking are getting into that suicidal case, and they're killing their wife, and then Bangalore mama basta hiri kati choti software engineer or suicide garte yaar,
Mm.
kati
Yeah.
software engineer ko bura buri jara bhayera chahi they have like fucking crazy unthinkable murder case or hunthyo.
Mm.
Even though they are educated in terms of education they're very educated lah. But
Yes. Mm.
why are they harming their own son, their own kids, their own family, their own community ke? They lack the understanding of that spiritual knowledge ke,
Mm.
I'm not saying like one religion ke. They're like multi-religious, multicultural that's the beauty of
Mm.
itself ke. You
Yeah.
you can be a good Muslim, or
Mm.
you can be a good Buddhist, you can be any religion ke,
Mm.
the purpose of religion itself is to just calm your that the inner demons down, right? Like
Yes.
the purpose of religion is to just to to re-energize your inner afflicted emotions, yeah? Like
Mm.
just to calm down, be like just to keep you balanced, man. That's the essence of religion, man. That we should
Yes.
not get into that kind of yeah, like my message is really simple. Okay, so the question was who are you as a human being, or something like that was your question, right? The
Mm.
part of your
Yes.
question.
Correct.
It's simple again. You know, like if you pay too much attention to your, that self image, like that self cherishing attitude, like there self, if you put too much of me, myself, I, bane, I think that's not healthy. That's what I understood. Yeah. When you ask a human, any human,
Mm.
they'll just say, yeah, no, I'm just a human, man. I'm just a human, like just living, living this life, and then simple kura cha ke hun, he's just longing for happiness, yeah, send that peace of mind. He
Mm.
doesn't want
Mm.
harm. He does nobody wakes up the next morning and asks for like, God, please give me like some harmful thing to do, harmful attitude or harmful energy. Everybody,
Yeah.
as soon as they wake up, all they have is like, okay, today I'm gonna be a good human being, right? And
Absolutely.
everybody
Yeah.
wants to
Correct.
be a good human being, man.
Mm.
But the thing is, our society structure is to create garechagi, like you know people get confused, yeah. People like cease to believe nowadays, like they get confused because half of our life is will just be spent on that, like the what do you call it, like the outer physical reality of life, yeah, that biya garne,
Mm.
that
Materialism. Yeah.
rent pay material, yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Half of our life will be spent just wasted on that, okay, stuck in that like the spider, creates a nice web, and then
Mm.
you are the victim of your own beautiful design, which you have created. So you will be the one who gets stuck in that web.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
if you as a bully, there's so many suicide cases and all that shit, right? But before, say about 50 years back, there are humans, 500 years back there are humans,
Mm.
millions of years back, but there are humans, that are, why as a bully, the people are why is this dream reality of society अहिले आजभोलि धेरै सुनिरहेछन् we can hear a lot of हुन्छ नि your next neighbor or next door or next घरको somebody takes their own life and fucking like just this I was this is the incident which happened like about 20 days back होला. I was I woke up at 6 in the morning and I went for a jog and then they were like on the trail I saw like a policeman and ambulance and all that shit and I like I just went to check what happened. And then the police was like, one of the policemen, he told me like, he had this sad face on his eyes, and he said, I tried to, I tried to, console this girl, like the young girl. She's about to say 18 or 19 years old, and I tried several times. I tried to educate her,
Mm.
but she never listened again. And she was actually rescued the day before Resa, and then the next day she ran away from home and she took her own life, man. She hung on a tree, and then like
Wow.
she's dead when I reached there. Just a young
Mm.
girl. That's the problem. What I see nowadays,
Mm.
like suicides cases are like surging. Suicide cases are surging, and then people Azabuli, so what the media platform or Matsani, they have glorified suicide cases, man. Be it Bollywood or
True.
anything, but
Yeah.
the fucking mainstream media has done this job of glorifying suicide cases, man, suicide attempts and all that shit. Stupid, man.
Yeah, that's
Stupid.
true. That's true.
It's some
Because I feel like हाम्रो जस्तो like what we have, like these anger issues and these depression issues that what we have now, this is anyways not accepted by the society at all, right? It's not accepted. Like that's the harsh truth. People don't accept it. Like when you get angry, when you get depressed, when you're sad, sitting in a corner alone, people think that hey, you manche bheja bhayo.
Mhm.
Why is he acting so weird? But nobody cares to ask like, are you okay? When you're talking about human touch and all, no, that's what's missing, right? So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, so that's a great thing, and man, and Tenzin, I must say that whatever you said today, no, that actually meant a lot. I'm sure it'll mean a lot to people as well. Yeah, I'm sure, and people who don't know, he like Tenzin is also somebody who's planning to start his own podcast, and you can see through his the background as well. There's a lot of stuffs we touched on today, especially about as an individual who's always trying to grow, right, in terms of like emotionally and let's not talk about financially growing and all that. That's something that comes with life. You have to grow financially someday,
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
that's something we don't even have to
Yeah.
touch on. Everybody's working, everybody's trying to save money and all that. So that bullshit is always there. But the thing
Right.
what you touched on today, what you dwelled with about about the purpose of life, and that's something I always touch on my podcast. I always try to ask people like, how are you doing? Like how's life treating you and all that. And you've given a very meaningful answer today, and I'm really thankful for that. And I hope people watch this and like take a lesson out. If you had to go back to your 18-year-old self, what is the thing that you would like to tell yourself, to prepare yourself for the
Okay.
future? I mean, that's a very silly question. It's a very silly question. You
Yeah, no,
don't.
no, no, no.
Yeah.
That's not a silly question, man.
Yeah.
I really like this question because I have the
Mm.
same kind of questions which I ask sometimes.
Uh,
Okay, when you walk tomorrow morning, when you wake up and then you go, you just start walking down the streets, and then you met yourself on the road. What would you
mm.
say to you? So that's the question which I ask my friends. Like,
Yes.
is some people they get like, what the fuck? That's very important. Yeah, like you see what we like what we trying to perceive the conceptual thoughts. Like
Mm.
we think that everything just exists, banana like exists just independently. Yeah, what I'm saying, like it's
Mm.
just absolute self care, but we objectify it. That's
Mm.
that person, that house, that car. But if you go the subtle deeper energy deeper consciousness gaya bhane, what the quantum physicists and even they mention is like everything is fucking interconnected, man. There's no absolute self once again. There's
Mm.
no
Mm.
absolute namakir bhaneर छैन के.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So if I would definitely when I go when I meet if I go back to that time zone, if I meet my 18-year-old self, I would just ask, like, I would ask, like, are you happy? Just simple question, like, are you happy? You know, are you feeling that, that that same energy that that you carry forward, in life? Are you happy with yourself?
Mm.
How are you? That would be my question. How are you as a person? Not like what you did yesterday, like who you fuck with, or
Mm.
who you dated, or all that shit. This is subtle. This is small. I would just say, how are you? How are you happy? That
Mm.
would be the question.
I'm really thankful, you've come to my podcast and you've shared these thoughts, and I'm sure I have a lot more to speak to you about different topics. But I'm sure, as this channel grows, as this podcast grows, I want to have more conversations with you in terms of different topics like depression or about life or anything, about a single topic. We can go on and on forever, and I'd love to do that forever. It doesn't matter if I grow, if I'm the millionaire, or if I'm the poorest of people. What I want is, I want to talk to people, and I'm doing that because it's some kind of a therapy for me as well, as a growing person. Talking to people and understanding their values, their beliefs, and sharing mine as well. So that is something I really, I appreciate about you, that you've come to my channel today, and you've wanted to do this. That is something I really value, and I would always appreciate it, because you guys are the first people who've come to my podcast when my channel is just growing.
Definitely, man. Because I still remember I written something last time, so I can read it out for you.
Absolutely, sure, please go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so we are in this very strange yet very transformational stage, in our life, in our the history of Earth, at the same time, because of this pandemic, or the viruses, which it
Mm.
has disrupted the fucking, the whole cycle, the whole system. But still, at the flip side, but I still think, because of pandemic, so many better things has happened also, in the society which we are living in right now. you
Yeah.
know like, so what I've written to you for your message is like very
Mm.
simple, okay? So, like, we are all facing, all this, every as a human, as a humanity, we are all facing this unprecedented situation, and the trouble, everybody's sharing the same trouble, right? The global pandemic. And it has affected all walks of life, be a farmer, be a businessman, be, like, traveler, or anything, like, it has affected families, businesses, communities, man.
Yeah.
But these are the key moments, these are the moments which reminds us that we are all connected like never before, okay? We are all part, as a
Mm.
humanity, we are all in the same game together, so
Yes.
it has, so the most important thing is, now people are saying, okay, when is this going to end? When is this going to end? It's not about when the pandemic is going to end. It's about how you change your attitude every day when you wake up. If you change the way you think, the way you behave, the way you eat, the way you treat your neighbor, treat your friends, or like the one who doesn't, marginalized community ko mancha, like those who don't have fucking food to eat, if you can include them in your daily practices, daily banana human ko yora affection ma lira, if you respect them just the same way that you would expect somebody to respect you, right? Like, if you treat everybody in the same brotherhood and sisterhood sense, I think, apart from pandemic, this world will be a better place, okay? Pandemic unsani, the signs are working on it, this
Mm.
it is 100% gonna end soon, like there are a lot of conspiracy theories attached to this, to these viruses and all that,
Mm.
whatever. But since we are in this very transformational age and the moment, you know so
Yeah.
whatever steps we take, or we move, we make this move, is going to absolutely define us as human again. So that's the message I want to say. Always be kind, always be kind, regardless of poor or rich or different color, different color, different ethnicities. Always be kind, man. Be kind and be humble. Yeah, that's the most important thing. Nowadays, people lack this small, very
Mm.
that human ethical thing. Yeah, we lack this sense of treating everybody as a brother. Yeah. We lack this.
Absolutely.
Everybody just wants they're in this you know they're in a different fucking reality they're leading, man. People are becoming so unethical nowadays. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So all you gotta do is just change your attitude, man. Change the way you think, change the way you behave, change. Try to be kind and be humble to every human, the next person you meet, and on the road, when you travel, wherever you go for work. Just treat everybody as your own brother, man, or as your own sister. Then this world will be a better place for sure, man, regardless of pandemic or the next suddenly, great depression, whatever. But if you change your attitude, I think you will somehow, I mean, the world will not change in a day, but like you still start seeing something positive out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's it, man. That's my message.
There's a question I have for everybody, and with that, I would like to end the show. That is, have you already become the person you've dreamt of being? If you got the question correctly, you can answer it on my comments, on my YouTube channel. Share your answers. I'll be happy to read it and maybe pin it or share it in my stories. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Tenzin, so much for being on the show today. I wish you all the happiness and luck in life.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
I want to thank you too, and may God be Allah, Jesus, Sadhguru, or
Mm.
Shiva, Ram, Buddha be good to you and yours for the
Thank you.
coming years and
Mm.
beyond that. And I wish you all the best for your podcast and your future endeavors, in life.